Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start a few minutes early if that's okay. Welcome to the presentation of the end-of-year results for Indorama Ventures Public Company Limited. I'd like to introduce the management on my right. First, Mr. Alok Lohia, who is the founder and group CEO. Mr. D.K. Agarwal, who is the CEO of IRP and also our total head line, and Mr. Ashok Jain, who is our head of corporate finance. So without any further ado, I'd like to ask Mr. Alok Lohia to start the presentation. Thank you.
Let me also introduce Mr. Richard Jones, who's our head of investor relations, who's joined us recently in December. So Mr. Richard Jones. So a very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for joining us today on the Investor Day. As you can see, the first slide itself, we are talking about metamorphosis. And as you know, it means change, evolution, and that is what we have achieved in IVL from IRP. The next page, we can see it over here or not?
Yeah.
Or if you keep yours a little slanted, I can see it. Yeah. So we are going to break up the presentation in 8 sections. We'll talk about the transformation from IRP to IVL. We'll also talk about our markets, that means PET, polyester, and PTA. We'll talk about our feedstocks and leading on to our business prospects. Then we'll share with you our performance, essentially our 2009 performance over 2008, and our financial position. And then share with you some of the aspects of our growth objectives, as well as ending with a conclusion or outlook for the company. So going on to the transformation, IVL, thanks to the support of all the shareholders, the new investors, has successfully listed on the SET on 5th of February. And actually, we are just today completing our first month of trading on the SET. And when we last looked, our market cap makes us the 16th largest non-bank corporate in Thailand. More importantly, one of the reasons why we looked at the transformation or the merging of IRP with the parent was essentially to increase the liquidity of the company, which we have achieved. Today, the liquidity of IVL is about 3 times that of IRP, and we have a free float of 29%, which equals to around 16 billion baht of free float. On the business front, by merging the PET business with the parent company businesses of PTA and polyester, what we have created is a much more resilient business. Our business is truly a consumer staple, and what we have seen over the last 18 months during the peak of the crisis in the world, that our business, our demand of our products, and our business performance was not negatively impacted by the global recession. And therefore, we find this business to be to give us quite a good visibility and quite resilient to the recession. Plus, the business of polyester is continuing to grow. We have some data to share with you in the markets slide. So it's positively impacted from that sense as well. The volatility in the polyester value chain is it's a consistent value chain, and the volatility of the margins is better managed now because of the integration of the PET business with the PTA business as well as the polyester fiber business. We also have some graphs to share with you on that. Just 1 second, please. The integration of the businesses of PTA, PET and fiber has as well increased the gross margin ratio of the company. So both the gross margins and the EBITDA margins of the company through integration are much more optimized, and we can also better have a better allocation of our fixed cost across the group now. So we can optimize on that front as well. The integrated business as well increases or optimizes our effective tax rate, because some of our businesses in the private side in the past had BOI incentives, as well as some of the businesses that we acquired in 2008 have tax losses from the past. So we are better able to utilize those tax losses and the BOI incentives through the integration of the businesses. We have a much stronger financial position, and which will enable the company to continue with its with what it's been doing in the past. That means leading consolidation. In 2009, we saw a larger free cash flow in the company, and as the major investments in 2008 and 9 have completed, we saw a positive free cash flow in 2009 over that of 2008. And we think that going forward, there would continually be a free cash flow in the group. The snapshot of Indorama Ventures Limited now is basically 29.6% of the company is owned by minorities, and 70.4% is continued to be owned by the Loya family through Indorama Resources. The market cap of the company in the beginning of the week was 56 billion baht, and this has grown from the date of listing at when the market cap was 44 billion baht. We have issued 400 new shares and 60 million green shoe shares to new investors, and the total post-IPO shareholding of the company is now 4.334 billion baht. The IRP minorities got a share swap at 1.41 times the holding in IRP, and that equates to 583 million shares. The use of the proceeds, as stated in the prospectus, is to strengthen the balance sheet, essentially. We have at the moment used that to reduce the working capital loans that we have in the company. And essentially, we continue to look for growth opportunities and put this IPO proceeds to better use going forward. So now coming on to the next section, our markets. On the first chart of the markets, basically we show you the relevant businesses that impact us. The paraxylene business, and the middle section of growth basically shows you 2009 growth versus expected 2010 growths. So 2010 is expected to be a better growth year for all polyester value chain. PX is expected to grow by 10%. Essentially, PX is only used to make polyester, so it grows in line with polyester. PTA similarly will grow at 9.6%, which actually only grew by 5.4% last year. So there's a considerable increase in growth rates in 2010. Polyester fiber is very robust, and even being a mature business, it still is expected to grow by 10%. Polyester fiber benefits essentially because there are two major fibers in the world, cotton and polyester. Cotton, because of its grown, is harvested, so there is a lot of competition for the use of land for biofuels and other needs. So cotton does not grow very much. All the global growth of apparels essentially comes to polyester. And that's why even though it's a mature business, the polyester continues to grow at strong rates. PET resin on the other side